Do you guys smell that? Do you smell that breath of fresh air? No, it's not the dookiness of past events and terrible anniversaries. No, we're talking about Wuthering Waves and how I look at Wuthering Waves right now and everything in general. Like, honestly, I have a lot to really say in regards to the closed beta 2, but the main thing I gotta say is the hype was real, in my personal opinion. Now, granted, some other people might disagree with that, and that's perfectly fine, but I have many things to say about the Wuthering Waves beta, so we'll go ahead and dive in. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Wuthering Waves video comes out. I'm super excited. And of course, also don't forget, check out Gamer Subs. Use code TYSTRA for 10% off. I did just carbonate some Blowhole Blast. So that's what I'm gonna be sipping on during this video, right? So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the video. As you can see, this is my account for the closed beta 2. I, of course, am only rank 3, level 22. And it's not that I haven't played a lot, it's just more so I'm like taking my time with it because I feel as though, like, let's say Zenless Zone 0, I was trying to push through so much and I wanted to take my time with this game. We're about 4 days in as of this recording, and I'm pretty stoked on it. The events have been pretty decent. Day 5 into the game, not day 4, but I did get her, which she's my favorite character design wise. She is adorable, and there's so many different things that come with the game in general with these like events, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and first talk about the comparisons to another game, which we know it's going to get compared to. So if people get upset in the comments, I'm sorry, but it's a direct comparison for a reason, because of the fact that they are so similar. Let's talk about the comparisons between it and Genshin Impact. Now, first, I want to talk about the main story. Story-wise, I'm not very far in. I'm only on Chapter 1, Act 4. So I still have a long way to go. However, I can say it's a slow start to the story. And for me personally, I find it hard to like kind of put myself into the story without the voice acting. I think the voice acting makes or breaks a story because the characters have to be able to bring the emotion, bring the actual vibe of the story itself. However, there is a major difference in the stories, and that is no Paimon. We actually get the characters, where is she? Yang Yang as our main friendo here, and she is absolutely like stunning. Holy crap, look at her, she's so hot. And then and of course we also get Qixia. Now Qixia is the happy-go-lucky girl that works with you, and then later on in the story we also get the character I really love, Baiji. Oh my god, Baiji is, whew, I go feral. I'm telling you right now, and I'm not the only one of my friend group that's gone feral for Baiji. I'm just saying, Baiji's hot, okay? But you meet these characters and you go through talking about the Tessent discords is basically what it's called, and you battle these enemies, so on and so forth. Now, of course, you could choose a rover, either your female rover or the male rover. I like the female, of course, because for me personally, I choose the female characters because I'd rather stare at the female than, you know, the male. That's just my personal opinion. But both designs are actually really good for both rovers. So, but the main story is slow, just like Genshin Impact. And I don't think that's bad, because you're building up the characters first that are inside the story and then building the realm around them. I think that's good storytelling, because the one thing that you need to do is get me invested in a character first. If I can get invested in the character, the story will over-arc itself. It's exactly how it was for Genshin Impact, and why I got so heavily invested into the Traveler at first, even though we had Paimon, because the Traveler came from Conria basically, and then we got to meet Amber, we got to meet Kaya, we got to meet Jean, Lisa, Venti right out the get-go, and we got to understand what was so great about Mondstadt. And then we would go to Liyue and learn about Zhongli, Ningguang, Beidou, Ganyu, all of them. There were so many things that tie a story together, but you can't have a good story without good characters. And I feel right now, even without the voice acting, the characters are pretty good. However, I definitely want to hear the voice acting alongside the main story, So for now, my opinion on the main story is it's okay. It's not the thing that I'm liking the most about it. But let's go ahead and talk about the characters themselves. As you can see, I've got a decent list of characters. I'm so mad because I wanted to pull XIANYUN, which if you don't know who XIANYUN is, let me go over here. It's her. I want her. XIANYUN, I want so bad. And I can't pull her. I'm so sad. But there's also Jian, which is someone I wanted as well. But I will say that the characters I played with thus far have been pretty good. One of my favorite early on characters was actually Aalto. And Aalto is a pistol user, which by the way, they brought in pistols, which was, I love it. But he is a pistol user, and he actually can go through his barrier and gain like super dash, and it also like shoots out stuff kind of like Scaramouche's little sigil that's behind him when he dashes in his skill. It's kind of like that, but it also works in the sense of him being able to speed dash and dodge, and it works so good. Another of the characters that I liked using right from the get-go was Baiji, because Baiji plays as a really good healer, and I dig it. I just need to build her up in her healing capabilities. Otherwise, she's really good. And then the most recent character that I got, or one of the most recent characters I got, was Encore. And I was actually upset at first about pulling Encore, but she's really good. She is really good with her abilities, especially as a fusion element. So for me, when I pulled her, I hated it, but once I actually playtested her, I loved it. You know, and honestly, Sanhua is actually another one that I really like because of her character. I love the fact that she does the whole forces a smile thing. It's really, I don't know what it is. It just, But I love the characters so far. I'm really digging these different designs. Even the guys, like, obviously this is like scientist Diluc here, but this guy looks so sick. I like him. Blue hair, freaking blue beard almost. It's like grayish blue, and just overall the design is great. Yang is just absolutely adorable and beautiful. I love her design. Qingque, while I'm not a big fan of her, her design is really cool. I love that you could catch her bubbly personality just from the design alone. We got Aalto right here, which he's just so freaking cool. I dig him. I've been using a GIF of his on Twitter a lot, so. But yeah, all the designs are really good in general. Honestly, I want to touch up on this now. The things about the leveling up system is actually pretty dope. You obviously have your main ascension stuff, you have your weapons and all that, but the one thing I want to talk about is the gear system. And I'm actually very happy with how the gear system turned out. And the reason being is because you get your gear from the overworld, you get it from monsters. This is actually a boss. And one thing I do want to touch upon is apparently you could also get the same stat even if it's your main stat, which is crazy to me, but I digress. You could get the bosses as part of your gear, and it's through the system called echoes. And what echoes are is through the little like sigil sign that you have, you absorb the echo of an enemy and it becomes a piece of gear for you. So enemies like, you know, the snip snaps, you can actually get from the overworld as well, and you can get main stack attack, and then other ones just like this. Now, don't mind the fact that I have a defense percentage on a DPS character and electro damage bonus on a fusion damage character. Don't mind that. I'm just getting the boosts right here, okay? But you do not farm gear with your stamina. You farm the materials to ascend your gear, which is basically just upgrade materials and so on. I don't know the extensiveness of the gear system just yet, and I'm still learning to get better with it, but I will say this is such an amazing change already as it is, and I love it. I'm not going to go into too much detail just yet because I do have another video coming out later to talk more about the echoes and all that, but best believe having the echoes is such a cool thing, and it adds a reason to explore the areas daily, and that's what I love automatically. The leveling up stuff like this is pretty simple to understand. It's the same thing, but you have 5 different ones to level up to, and it's all 1 out of 10. I don't know if that's going to change. It seems like 1 out of 10 is kind of crazy, depending on how easy it is to get these materials, which I'm pretty sure it's not too hard, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, this is the the eidolons, the constellations, stuff like that. But these are called resonance chains, which, you know, obviously if you get multiple, then there's that. However, you have to get far less to actually get these up. Well, not far less, just one less. So instead of getting 7 like in most gacha, or 7 in like most gacha games, aka the Hoyoverse standards, you're going for 6, which is not bad. I don't know if PGR did this, but if they did, kudos to them. I'm very glad that they went that route, because honestly, I think that going 6 is going to make people very happy in regards to not having to spend so much money. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and flip over to the convenes, right? Now, convening is just summons. And the one thing I want to say is already it's a win, because 80 is the maximum before you get a 5-star. Now, I don't know when the rates push up, because I know that with certain games, like you have a certain time when rates start to really push up further and further. Like again, in comparison with Genshin, when you have a 90 and you get up to 75, your rate of getting a 5-star goes drastically up. So I don't know if that's the case, but if it is, this is great. And I think it still does the 50-50 from what I've been seeing. What's also really cool, and this is already 1,000 times better, the fact that I don't have to freaking summon so many times to get a weapon. And the reason why I say this, look at this, or hold on, let me get out of here. I already put, wrong thing. But Verdant Summit right here, right? Look at the pool here, and I don't know if this is gonna change later, but this is a one-time getting 5-star. That's it. You don't have to do it 3 freaking times to be guaranteed 1 weapon. This is huge. This is huge in my opinion, especially if they are as giving as it seems right now with the amount of summons that you could get in total when it comes to the overworld. Now, who knows how it's going to be later on? Could be 100% different, but it looks like you get the weapon every single time you pull a 5-star. So there's that. That is amazing to me, and I love that they did that. And then of course you have your normal not friendo banner, but you know, your normal banner. But what's really cool is they separate the freaking standard banners, which is a win again. So in this banner right here, from what I'm seeing, if I look at this correctly, right, you're looking at this, you're only getting the 5-star resonators: Verena, Encore, Calcharo, Lingyang, and Xianjun. Is it so hard, Hoyoverse? Is it so hard? I don't know. I think that's crazy. And again, people are probably going to get mad at me for ripping on Genshin, but I feel as though this serves to prove a point that you can make a game that people love. But I'm not going to talk about the other stuff right now, because I think we're getting into a little too long. What I want to talk about is a little bit of the combat. And the reason why I'm a fan of this combat is because of the fact that it's fast paced and you have to do active switching. Now, the reason why I'm going over here is, well, get off the walls, get off the wall, Encore. But the reason why I'm coming over here is I feel like this is the easiest way to kind of show it off. So we're going to go into here. You could also co-op right now, which is pretty insane. But I'm going to use this as my team. I still have to level up these characters. I have one that's under the level up requirements, but I'm not going to need her as much, because the whole point is to kind of show off the power of some of these characters. The running animation is okay. It's whatever. But I do feel it's funny when you switch. Like, one thing is the stamina system is a lot better. You don't have to worry about losing stamina while running, because we are at top speed. And look, you could switch seamlessly. I think that's wonderful without hard stopping me, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. It gives you a little bit of time before it starts. And already, like, you can kind of see that it's a little bit more fast paced. You could do like switch outs like that, active switch outs. And what's really cool is, you know how we were talking about the Echo gear a little bit? Look it, I just pulled my main Echo out right there for funsies. And the burst animations or ultimates are really sick too. This one basically gives you boosted up damage while also being a demon. Now, of course, I'm not blocking. I should be more so, or I should be dodging more. You could do perfect dodges. Like, I'll kind of let this one attack me really quick. But when they attack, you have to give a good dodge to be able to do the perfect dodge. Watch this. There we go. See that little sign? That was a perfect dodge right there. But yeah, the game is just a lot of fun. And I love the combat to this. I love being able to switch between characters. I love being able to do the perfect dodges. I love fighting the bosses because the bosses are actually pretty tough. And they will take you a little bit of time to actually get used to them. But the combat just feels so fun. And I honestly gotta say, that's the biggest point from me, is that this is fun. I'm having fun trying to be better with the game. I'm not great at this game. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you that. People in the comments will probably be like, yeah, this guy sucks. He wouldn't last a day in PGR. But it's the fact that I come from like easy peasy lemon squeezy games, and then I come in here and I'm learning the game and I'm understanding it, that it just makes it so much fun. I feel like it's so vastly different but so similar, if that makes sense. Wuthering Waves is a welcoming and promising game, and I really hope that Kuro Games continues to bring this game to the heavens, because honestly at this point, from what I'm seeing right now, it's good. It's really, really good. But can it be better? Yes. But I feel as though they're going to make it better as time goes on. Now, of course, I'm going to use as much time as I possibly can to understand all the characters, to understand what I'm doing, make guides and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, when this game releases, I want to be ahead of the curve. So I will be studying this game as best as I possibly can. If I'm wrong on some things, it's not for a lack of trying. So, but I love the game and I am going to continue playing it and continue making videos for it. We do have another video coming out next week regarding that as well. So, but yes, that's all I really got for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another Wuthering Waves video very, very soon. And of course, I love y'all. Thank you so much. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe, y'all.